So it's 2:04, so we can get started. Welcome to the monthly operations mastermind. Don't let the word operations scare you. This is for everyone. If you're a real estate agent, that still means you have operations in your business and in your life. So this is Mastering the 36 Touch, Elevate Your Real Estate Marketing for 2025. So I am Lia Martin. This says Nicole Zuber because these classes are actually put on by MAPS coaches every month. And then we bring them here so that we can talk about them. So they're talking about some really high level stuff. I mean, these are people, running the businesses at the top of this country. So some of the stuff that they talk about is not tangible for us, lowly folk in Philadelphia. So that's what we're going to be talking about today. So I know that marketing can be very, very intimidating. Planning for 2025 is everybody's pretty much least favorite thing to do. And when you're marketing in real estate, you can get lost down a rabbit. Has anybody gotten lost down a marketing rabbit hole before? Where you spent so much money and so much time and got no leads on it? Me. So honestly, some of the best tips that I can give to help you navigate this rabbit hole, when you are doing any sort of marketing, when you are reaching out to anybody think about that in reverse. Think about how you as a consumer on social media, in your email, things like that, how do you respond to monthly emails? How do you respond to text messaging? How do you respond to phone calls? Your clients are usually very similar to you, so just think about that in reverse. Also, having a system increases your chance of repeat clients and referrals and lowers your costs for lead generating sources for non-Mets. So Mary was just talking about how 82% of her business is referrals. 82% is a really, really large number of referrals. So I'm guessing that some of that has to do with systems, some of that has to do with follow-up, a lot of it's really automated. So another thing that I forgot to mention is this is mastermind style. So please get involved. Talk things out with the group, talk things out with me, ideas, stuff like that. We would love to hear them. So, real quick, does anybody know what a 36 touch is? What is it?
So it's all around the concept that at minimum, over the course of a year, you should be communicating 36 times with every single person in your database. Realistically, the data shows that number should now be more of like 60 plus. But I kind of encourage agents to use 36 as a baseline minimum, where even if it's someone that you haven't talked to in 10 years, they should still be getting 36 things with your name on them that say real estate, so that when someone hears the phrase real estate, there's still a click that you're one of the top 2 names that pop up.
Absolutely. The number 36 is more just in the name than the actual amount of touches that you can do. It's like JP said, you can have as many touches or as little touches as you want. Keller Williams is now saying you should be somewhere on 60 touches. If you're sitting here and you're like, I don't even know what a touch is, we're going to get into it. So per KW, their definition is the name of the system we use that causes us to stay in touch with our clients X amount of times per year. So that's what the 36 touch is. So again, it's a marketing plan to stay in touch with your MET database. So what is the difference? Does anybody know the difference between MET and non-MET clients? I'm going real basic here. I'm skipping you. Go.
MET clients are everyday friends, families, typical spirit, super fans, or people that want to refer to you.
Yeah, the past clients, people who come up.
Whoever you network with that could possibly do it.
Absolutely. Mets are people that know us, like us, trust us. Period. You've probably heard that a million times. I hear that 18 times a day. A non-Met is we don't know these people. So this marketing, this sort of 36 touch is geared toward your Mets. They are not people that you have not met before. So if you have a lead and you've never met them before, this is not necessarily for them. So with the operations classes, they teach things in like sort of a do's and don'ts sort of thing, an oops and an ops. So the first oops, best practices and worst practices. The first oops is constantly changing your 36 touch plan. How can we avoid that, right? Well, one way that we can avoid changing our 36 touch plan or changing our marketing plan for 2025 is to set it in 2024. We will also kind of talk about what these touches can look like and how you can actually get up to the 36. So yeah, don't constantly change the plan. That is going to make you lose your own mind. And the goal is to eliminate the thinking here. Go ahead.
One of the things that I usually encourage agents to do, like we talk about, yes, you probably want more than 36 touches, but have a baseline 36 touch that applies to literally everyone in your database that you don't adjust. And then supplement that with additional touch plans that are more focused.
Interesting.
So a 36 touch plan, you can have, all right, I do one newsletter a month, that's already 12. I do, 2 phone calls, one phone call a month, that brings me to 16, and the other 20 are, different text messages and emails throughout the year. All right, every single person in your database gets those 36, and that's kind of a set it and forget it, where everyone that you met, boom, add the smart plan, never think about it again. But then supplement that with, okay, this person is a homeowner, so here's things that would be applicable to them.
Yep.
This person is a renter, here's things that are applicable to them. This person is an investor, and so on and so forth. So that even when you're sitting there going, I don't know if I'm connecting with my database, on the level I need to, or people are sitting there not finding value in everything I send them, you shouldn't have to adjust your 36. You can adjust the supplement to make sure that that's what's providing your value and that's what's speaking more directly to that.
I like that. Having the base of like the 36 or whatever it is, and then building out smart plans based off of their tags and whatever category they are. So basically JP said the opposite of the oops, which is the ops, the best practice, create a duplicable and scalable system. So again, start now so you can have this running by January 1 of 2025. And then you can rinse and repeat and do it year over year over year. Does anybody have a marketing plan in place? I knew it. What are some of the things?
Let me see. So I technically have a 52 touch that I just rinse and repeat because I have to. Because I don't want to think about it. And a lot of it is automated by my admin because why not? They can obviously do a lot of the touches.
So for those who don't know, Mary's an admin with other admins.
I'm an ops lead a team of admins. It's great.
Yes.
So I do 24 touches around events alone per year. So that's great. It goes out to our whole event database, and that adds up to a lot.
Yeah.
I just handle 4 events. Send it out to Allison. We do monthly newsletters, quarterly market updates. Allison is getting on to do the DTD2, which is quarterly calls that she has to do with all the clients, all our past clients. We sometimes do just solds, but yeah, we're up to 52
million
without doing anything else.
So again, the 36, 52, things like that sounds like a lot of touches. It sounds like for one person, I'm one person, you're one person, you're one person. If somebody contacted me 52 times a year, it seems like a lot though. But when we break it down like this, it doesn't seem as much. And this is similar to what you just stated.
Yeah, it's really not a lot because it's spread out enough.
Can I ask which ones, Mary, out of all like the touches you mentioned, which ones?
Allison does 16, I do the rest.
Got it. No, which touches do you find have like the highest open rate? I guess where do you get the most?
It's about even between newsletters and things around our events.
Okay.
Because our clients get pretty hyped up on the events, especially because I've rinsed and repeated them for almost 3 years now. So then they're like, oh yeah, this free we're going to do baseball. Like, okay, great. When does that come in? I'm gonna like bring everybody, and the number keeps climbing for that. Okay. And then all of it, they're like, oh, we definitely want to go to that. And then we've got like 40 people at that. So
It's important to keep in mind too that like there are going to be things that are going to have a higher open rate. There are going to be some things that you send out that people never respond to. People barely click on open. But if you're doing it right and you're truly staying in relationship with those people and they are opening the higher value stuff like your newsletters, your event notifications and things like that, them just seeing your name come across their inbox or their text messages, even if they don't open it, like it still helps keep you top of mind. It's still one more check mark of like, okay, this person real estate, this person real estate.
Yeah.
I think it contributes a lot, honestly, to why we're so high on referrals. Where we're sitting at 82% referral, and they just appear to us, is because we do stay top of mind. And we say go on top of mind even with people that we like signed by our agencies with that haven't gone through the buying process. Someone just wrote us a review on Google. She hasn't closed with us yet. She was just hanging out with another past client of ours and the referral sharing, and she's like, "Oh, I just wanted to tell the world they're awesome." We haven't done this before yet. We got a 5-star review just because we stay top of mind.
Okay. I love all of this. Staying top of mind. This is what this is all about. So we talked about 36 touches and stuff like that. So this is the breakdown. I know some people might not be able to see it, but I'll go through it. So this is the breakdown on my class taught by Nicole Zuber that she just provided, which is very, very simple. So a newsletter once a month, that's already 12 touches. A postcard once a month, that's already 12 touches. If you have a client event and one client event per quarter, this is ideal, right? We send out an invitation. All right, so we send out that initial thing. That's for, send out a reminder, send out the invitation, send a reminder 2 weeks beforehand, and also a thank you note afterward. We now have 4, 4, 4, 4. So this equals, I think it's like 42 or 44 touches. So we're now already over 36, and all we did was send 2 emails a month and an event per quarter, and we're already way past the 36. So like getting to that 36 and getting to that marketing plan is a lot easier than it sounds. It's literally just setting it up and executing it and then making it consistent, which is the hardest part for a lot of people, and for me even included. So there are some other things that you can do because personally, I'm a little anti-newsletter.
I am too.
I'm like so transparent. I hate a lot of the marketing that they tell people to do.
I think it's pretty terrible.
It's awful. The amount of unsubscribes that I've seen from a newsletter, because I used to send out my old team's newsletters, it just really turns me off to them. Every single time that I get an email from an agent, I hit unsubscribe. So there are some other ways that we can reach out to our past clients and our vet database that's maybe a little bit more alternative, and you're providing them with a piece of value, so they're more likely to reach out to you. We always have our classic, wishing them happy holidays, happy new year, stuff like that. My favorite one, my absolute favorite touch ever, my top 2, are sending out the settlement sheets before taxes.
Oh, we do that too.
Okay, good. I was about to say you don't. So I would say every single person that closes in 2024, you should set a task for them for January, February 2025. Email them their settlement sheet and say, you're going to need it. Hope everything's good, right? It avoids the whole Happy New Year thing that everyone's sending out and saying, hey, here's a piece of value. This is your tax document that you may not have even remembered that you needed and probably threw in the trash the day of your closing. So that's a touch. Another touch is specifically for renters. Renters, usually their lease is 12 months. You can reach out to them 6 to 9 months in their lease and ask them if they would like to find something else, if they want to buy, things like that. So those are the touches that I like. I know that we're talking about, more set it and forget it sort of things. And setting that task is technically a set it or forget it. When you close somebody, just make sure you're setting them on a smart plan to follow up with them within that next year to either provide a settlement sheet, or if they're a renter, ask them, you thought about buying? Like, what's your savings? If you didn't buy last year when I talked to you because you wanted to work on your credit, I, got you hooked up with somebody in the credit repair thing, and now maybe you might be a little bit better off. So, that person is going to definitely think about you later on, and, when they close, because you've been thinking about them. Some low to no cost events, because I know an event per quarter is like, that's a lot of money. A shredding event if you could partner up with like a shredding company, drive your house around, pick up everybody's documents and then just shred them. You can also do like collecting people's coats and clothes and stuff like that for donations. You can do pie giveaways and things like that. Also, another tip, if you have social media, use it the way that you're supposed to use it. And what I'm saying is like, automated marketing plans don't necessarily have a place on social media so much, and we can increase our repeat clients if we are actually involved in their lives. If your client just had a baby, congratulations on the baby. Your client just bought a dog or adopted a dog. Oh my God, that yard that I just, attached to that house that I sold you last year is gonna be perfect for that dog, stuff like that. So yes, a consistent marketing plan definitely does a lot of the work for us, but just don't underestimate, actually being a person. Here's another oops, not being consistent with the marketing plan. There's not really too much to discuss here, other than if you set a task for yourself last year to reach out to your client to see if they want to rent again, don't ignore it. Just do it. So be consistent. How you be consistent is you create a checklist, automate the tasks in advance. I know Command is what you can do all this stuff. Like my team uses Follow Up Boss. You can create drip campaigns. You can create all sorts of things that when a client comes in and you attach a tag, you'll automatically set them up on all of these plans and stuff like that. There's somebody in this room who's really good at stuff like that. JP, I don't know if it's part of your job to help people with that. Is it?
There's basically nothing that's not part of my job at this point, so.
If it's something that's connected to the internet, it's your job. Like,
Yeah, if it plugs into a wall, it's pretty much
yeah.
a part of my job, so.
Yeah. So maybe JP or somebody else can help you actually like figure out a system to use. Something that I use is the reminders in my cell phone. It's not necessarily the most organized. You should definitely be using a database, but it is what it is. So again, with this sort of automated checklist, you can, just take a lot of that mental work out of your mind when you're sitting there late at night and you go, oh my God, Sarah just closed on a house 60 days ago and I literally did not send her an email asking for a review. Like, these types of systems can eliminate that sort of agita. So this is the opposite of what you said, maybe. And oops, it's putting everyone on the database for the 36 touch plan. Again, with marketing, just be intentional about it. Think about it. Don't just start shoving things in people's faces. I actually spoke to one of my rainmakers, Stephanie Summers, not too long ago, and I was like, what did real estate look like 15 years ago? Like, why is every single agent that I know who's been doing this for a while thinking that shoving every single piece of marketing in people's faces is what works? She said that it never worked, but for some reason people thought it worked, and now we can't really get away from that. So don't just slam people with marketing because you want to get into their faces. We need to give people something of value. So it's very tricky to do that with an automated system, but there is a finesse to it and you can figure it out. Like with these newsletters and stuff like that, just be really, really careful because not everybody wants to see them. But can anybody think of anything that is a consistent touch, an automated touch that clients would actually want to see?
Birthday card, holiday card.
Birthday card, holiday card, perfect. Birthday card, everybody goes. That's actually, and in Command, you can insert their birthday and all the other things. You can insert their birthday and it will tell you. So yeah, birthday's really good. Okay, so the best practice, so the opposite of putting everyone on the database for the 36 touch plan, you want to make sure you have a clean, properly tagged database. I know that all of this stuff is a headache. I know scrubbing your database, combing through your database, properly tagging seems like a lot of work. But like in my mind, it's like you do 10% of the work now for 90% of it to be automated for you later on. So like, why wouldn't you do that? And like I said, harassing people with marketing doesn't work. And also KW thinks that too. They used to think that you should just shove everything in people's faces, but their tune has changed recently, where they're actually talking about being intentional and not just getting in front of people's faces and stuff like that. So they also said that people that have their systematized relationships down become shift proof. So when we're talking about the shift and the lawsuit, the this and the that, and the market's here, the market's there. I've been in the market for 5 years, right before COVID shut everything down. So like I was kind of there for that really weird shift. And now it's kind of shifting back into this other weird thing. So consistent marketing plans, because we are marketing to our past clients and people that know us, like us, trust us. No matter what the market's doing, they're going to come back to us. That's what we want, right? And no matter what the market's doing, some people can still buy houses. We've been seeing that. No matter what happens, the rates can keep still, because they go up, inventory will still pop up. And, you know, until the world burns, we'll probably still be in this position. Okay, so some examples of tagging your database, A, B, and C. Those are some tags. A would be like first priority, B is kind of like on your back burner sort of clients, and C is like the ones that are not ready right now. Definitely need a lot more love. Met, non-met, past client, agent referral, client referral, sign call, internet. Does anybody have any tags that they like, that they use, that you want to share? What are some tags?
I usually first time home buyer,
Perfect. Love that.
renter,
Investor.
sure, yeah,
Yeah, definitely.
landlord.
I frequently recommend that people have a tag for any. My rule of thumb is if there is something that knowing it about a client would help you provide them better service, you should have a tag for it. So I encourage people to have tags like, you know, wheelchair access or things like that. You know, you don't want to be sending properties to someone
That
who's
don't
in a
have
wheelchair that don't have wheelchair access. Like again, it's all about making sure that your communication with this person is pertinent to them, is helpful to them, you know, and shows that you are paying attention to their needs.
Yeah. Yeah, that's really, I haven't heard of that tag, but that is definitely a very mindful tag. I said something like while you were talking, which was like dog. Like how many people have dog and you need to find them an apartment, but you know, you can't send them things that don't allow pets and stuff like that. So yeah. I've been on a team where they tag everybody with everything and anything. So one of the things is having a clean, properly tagged database. So if you decide that you're going to tag everybody who has a dog with dog, and then you don't really like that plan, so you stop that plan, just delete that tag from the system so you can untag all of those people, because we just want to keep it clean. We want to keep it organized. And hopefully, right, we can get our database to a point where we hire an admin who then thinks for us. But if that admin doesn't even know what's going on because you have a tag that says school, and then there's another tag that is the name of a school, but it's just all over the
I
place.
usually tell people, and like it's the most low tech solution, but I tell people have a spreadsheet with all your tags in them so you can be systematic about it.
Yeah.
Like, because what you give a couple of examples, but the example that I see all the time is there's a tag for buyer, there's a tag for buying, there's a tag for there's a tag for bought, there's a tag for buy, and it's like, all right, when you're searching for the buyers in your database, you're probably only searching for one of these tags and you're missing a huge swath of people. Be intentional and systematic about your tags. And if you are not someone who has your tags memorized, have a spreadsheet, pull it up when you're adding someone and just go down the list and be like, okay, does this apply? Does this apply? Does this apply? Does this apply? And until it's like second nature to you, you go, oh, this is the name of the tag that
I wonder if you could download your database as a CSV. You can, and upload it and tag, because I know in my follow-up boss, like I could download everybody, re-upload them, and mass tag them as something. Sorry, this is a mastermind, so I get to think too. So yeah, that's interesting. I like that. All right, cool. Yeah, I would say like, I'm trying to think like, people would probably end up maybe max at like 20 tags, really. And that's like if we're getting super creative. But what was that? You have more? Well, what kinds do you have?
So we have years that they worked with us, so we know like the buyer that's over 3 years ago, we can say, hey, do you want to upgrade?
But your database is also
Because we have a
clean.
lot of first time buyers, what?
So your database is also clean.
It took us a year and a half to just squeaky clean.
You don't get to where Mary gets, where the database is dirty and then it takes you a year and a half to get it clean. We're on it before you.
Duplicate tags are gone, like unnecessary report gone. We have zip codes because we track market stats for like 20 zip codes in the Philly area, so we can send them a very specific market update. Hey, this is what's going on in your neighborhood right now. Based on like what's happened in the past, what's happening now, like here's where it's projected to go. So there's zip codes in there too for all of the past buyers. So you can trust me, it's not just a hey, here's what's happening.
I think we
When the border is a hey, here's what Philly is saying right now, where you live.
I like that. So you have a lot of tags, but again,
Yeah,
you're
yeah.
not organized. What's your weirdest tag? Do you know one?
All of the DTD2 just because they're A and W, B and E.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
Okay, now I want to hear, does anybody have any tried and true tactics, marketing tactics? Oh, also, who's that? Oh, okay. Page 145 of our lovely MRDA. It's old, but it still applies. Here is a basically 36 touch plan already written out by the god Gary himself, I guess. Someone did it. So it says touch type, number per year system, themed email. They even tell you like kind of what it looked like, meaningful text. So something that I forgot to mention, touches don't always mean emails. They also mean text messages and phone calls. DTD2, voice to voice calls. That's what Mary's doing. It's this crazy thing where you call a bunch of people and they want to work with you. Seasonal giveaways, valuable events, hand-signed cards, birthday, holiday, and others like Martin was saying. So this is just like a little template that you can use that KW has provided in the NREA. I don't know what that is. I didn't make these slides. So I guess what I would say is if anybody's interested in these operations classes taught by Nicole Zuber, who is like the MAPS coach of the MAPS coaches, second to Monica Reynolds, they have these free classes all the time, and I have access to them. So just let me know, and I can send you that calendar invite. Like they're talking about leads, listings, and leverage through AI, which I know is like the hot topic now. So one of them just passed a little while ago, and another one comes up on November 13th, and another one comes up on December 11th. If everything worked out, you know, I was trying to have it so we could display these classes in this market center and everybody could go watch them. But if you just want them, just let me know and I will send you that information so that you can add the operations calendar to your calendar and then you can add these things.
How about that?
I know, right? Because there's some stuff that they do provide that's free. They provide a free monthly info session, which is what I'm talking about. So like they do it at a very high level and then we come back here and we talk about it so we can actually apply things to you. So if you go to these info sessions, they're gonna be talking about things that like, it's like the top agents in the country. Like I'm not here right now. I'm like trying to figure out a system. I don't have the successful system yet. And then there's these new things that they're adding in, which are, you know, helping agents and stuff like that. So does anybody have any questions? And I also want to hear tried and true marketing tips. Anybody got one? I'm not going to call on you, Ronnie, but I will.
Sure, yeah, jump in, I call one. 95% of my business is from social media, but a little different than most people where just my personal page. I'm in two favorite community groups. I'm very, very active. One specifically in South Philly, the multi-name thing on there. Okay. But in that group, I have my target buyers, which are first time buyers, which get tagged and follow all first time buyers. That's fine. But first time buyers, but from a different standpoint, I don't reply to housing posts. Every housing post is very realtor shop on it, so I try to be in like a less competitive, but more targeted post scenario, which is make posts, educational posts, which are about how to get in your first home you've ever considered buying. They're all very low pressure, it's all education on the topic, if you have interest, let's hop on into the call. And I have an 85% conversion ratio people who contact me. And a lot of them are not eager to buy it, and most of them will pay people to plug if I could do this. And then we go through buying process, what resources the grants are available, what they're paying, their ideal phone is, and then go right into touring them. So low competition, I'm happy to have competition, but it's a lot easier. And they really trust you because you're educating them rather than trying to sell them something. And I got a lot of rules for that too. I think right now I have 4 deals under contract, 3 games in that group. I have, I think for 7 closings year to date in that group. And I have a bunch of referrals that are pretty group. So I like it.
I would say, because those who don't know yet, Ronnie is on the summer team, which is the same team I'm on. And over observing Ronnie, I would say his success in this group comes from being consistent, which is pretty much exactly what we're talking about here. It's a consistent marketing plan. So this was specifically talking about ways that we can automate things. But since this is a mastermind and this was just marketing in general, and this is honestly one of my favorite topics to talk about, you know, doing that may not be your forte, may not be where you get most of your business. Like Ronnie gets it off of social media. We can go down a whole rabbit. Social media. My biggest flex is that I've gotten leads off of social media. I'm not a real estate agent, so whatever. And I don't really post real estate like that. Actually, just help somebody close, and I'm not a real estate agent, so I didn't get that referral. But guess what? So yeah, does anybody have any questions on social media marketing in general or anything like that? It usually is something people have on their minds, and I judge it very harshly. So it's one of my favorite things. Go ahead. I don't think you realized I judge it harshly before you raised your hand. Go ahead.
Does anyone have a company they use, like that would mail out like a quarterly report? Not like
Like a physical one?
So some of these companies would only do just hold or just list a card or like an open house, but just one that might create my own flyer and they'll mail it for me.
Just like a generic, like that you're advertising your business sort of flyer.
Instead of like it's just sold cards, like that's some people's style.
I don't know
like
what Jillian's role is, but that sounds like a Jillian thing.
But
that she could help you with creating the design at the very least. And if she knows other, because like obviously I know systems, but I know systems where we could take that template and then you would have to manually plug it into the system and select your people and then mail it out. Like I know that, but as far as a company that will do it for you, that I don't.
yeah, like I have the design already and then it's there. I just need somebody
Yeah.
that I give my time to get email for.
Yeah.
I'm okay with that option, but I'm not sure, I had been from documented in everything. They do have an option to do it well,
But
but I'm not sure 100% on it, because I never.
It is limited to those cards, though, they don't do flyers.
She can a little, your own design, and there's more of a postcard and she can and put all the information you want part of that on it, and it all comes with a QR code. So you can scan it and you can keep track on it. So it's good, but I'm not sure if, my postcard never got sent out, so that's one thing.
Also, Martin, if you're just doing like 100 of those, I feel like depending on who your audience is, like you're almost better off just like drafting like a letter and then like sending out
I was
like,
gonna say,
regular mail.
You can pay some
You
kids.
probably want to follow stuff
I
right too.
I used to like hire a task for having anything come to my house.
Yeah.
And I even just order them and give here's the stamp, go ahead and sign.
Yeah,
Yeah, but
and you probably have more people opening that than like a bright scanning flyer,
Right.
especially now with, all the other stuff that we're getting in our mail, like small volume of garbage.
I think it's as relevant.
I was gonna say, find a teenager. He's $50, stuff these envelopes. I don't know.
Yeah.
fair.
Trying to think of one for you. Yeah, all right, cool. Any other tried and true methods, questions?
Thing that, is working and, they acquired. That are really, probably, that, we just go on.
Reminder media? Yep, I know, and that's actually what came into my mind when he mentioned that. Go ahead. No, go ahead, I haven't used it in years.
Media lets you add to a list each someone like a Excel spreadsheet or address. What they do, you know, postcard, which is super common, or you do magazines. And
Yeah.
it's different types of magazines, like the lifestyle or fitness, and they just throw you in the magazine, 5, 6 different places. That doesn't pass by all the time. Oh, got a magazine, magazine. Which is a quick way of beating up the 36 and contact with people, but reminder media. And they have different promotions, but you sign up during a certain time of year, you'll do 50 or 100 magazines free or 250 or something. And depending on the time of year, they range in price from $3 to $5 magazine, but I've never had it. I got this magazine I needed, it won't send me anything.
And so, and I'm thinking about this as well. So, does anybody remember one of the tips that I gave when I first started? Think about yourself on the other end before you do marketing. If my realtor sent me a lifestyle magazine, I would be like, oh, that's a flex. Other people getting a magazine in the mail, not going to be that reaction, right? So, you know, just think about the types of clients that you would want to work with. What you might want to work with people that are kind of like you, right? Who are mindful and kind and logical and all those things. So, you know, for me, like I might use Reminder Media because I think that's pretty cool. I love magazines and just looking at pictures of houses and just being nosy. So, you know, that might be something that works for your clients. And I wrote it right here. It's remindermedia.com. Yeah, I used to be in that program like once a month. I would add all my teams, not mine. I would add my team's past clients in there and then they would get that.
I think they also send it to the same press, so if you have like someone that owns center, they will get you center as well. They don't know center says, did you send it before? No, okay. But they don't send the same magazine and some of them they don't send it.
Well, Reminder Media. All right. Anything else? Try true tips. Has anybody gotten a client off of marketing that's not running?
I have literally absolutely nothing in place. If you know me, I am the worst at all of this stuff. But there's one thing I do. I do send out my Eagles calendars.
That is one thing though. So you do
And
have
when
one thing
my
and you're
friends will
resistant.
text me and be like, hey,
Thank you.
week 2, where is it? Mail, all right, everyone.
So maybe
That wouldn't be the Eagles scout that out.
Oh, I just use trulyengaging.com. Truly engaging. Well, yeah, trulyengaging.com. You can like, you know, make your own and all that, but who's that fine for it? Just use, you know. Somebody else is like, oh, I don't love the graphics of this, and you're like, who cares? We gotta get these out to her.
I would say for you, Christiana, maybe your goal for the end of this year.
And we do holiday cards.
I was gonna say is to add one more touch.
We do holiday cards. No, we do holiday ones too. And those come from snackfish.com. Snackfish is great, you can always get 70% off coupons. But no, I would like to add the, so I do find that people keep these on their fridge and use them, like the annual calendar.
You know what isn't on the count on the
Like the 2025, like just
Yeah.
the date calendar.
Since you don't have to flip through things. If it's just a little magnet, because
Yeah.
we send out calendars,
She
the
always
amount of
sends
times
me
that
that.
get sent back, it's a lot. Does
Yeah.
anybody put the 2024 calendar for the Fishcott office? Yeah, that's, yeah, interesting. What was I thinking? I was just thinking something now.
You say one.
Oh, something on the Fishcott. Oh, yes, Mary made those, please. Mary, the professional baker, if you have not grabbed 1 cookie or 2 or 3, please. Or else those are all coming home with this girl. So something on the fridge at Fishtown. So people in this city really love their sports, right? There's something on the Fishtown fridge that my team used to send out, and I wish we did this again. It's a little magnet on the fridge that says when all your food's gonna expire. I think that's cool. Like, I don't, does that make sense? Like, it'll be like eggs, 2 weeks. Beef, it lasts 2 to 3 days in the fridge, and just like, you know, and then there's also like, I think there's like measurements. When I first moved into my apartment complex, they gave me a little magnet that has like conversion chart for measurements and like replacements and stuff, and I think it's like the niftiest thing. I like magazines.
That's a good one.
Yeah,
Measurements.
and it just has your logo on it. I don't know. It's just there. They eat every day. They go into their fridge every day, right? Hopefully. Okay. So I really don't. I'm trying to think if there's any other information that I can drop on you guys that'll change your life and change your marketing. But really, just the only thing that comes down to it is just being consistent, which I know is a really, really big challenge for people who are really busy, and just real estate sales are just all over the place and everything's very urgent. But if you could just spend even an hour a week, 10 minutes a day, just coming up with a plan for 2025, you will have a plan for 2025, right? If you sit here and you go, I want a plan for 2025, and you don't write anything down, don't do anything, then you're not gonna have a plan for 2025. So, any other questions, comments, compliments? Thank you. I mean, we have a monthly operations mastermind. I don't know what the topic's going to be next month, but really this is pretty much how it is. If you are a person who is a realtor or an admin who has no idea where to go, who has no idea how to run your own business, who has no idea just how to do any of this, and you want to do this with more success, please come to these masterminds that tell you how to run your business and work with you to tell you how to run your business at no cost. So that's it. And take cookies. Please. I need to find something to put my cookies in.
Yeah, we'll say, we want some more of them.
I was wondering if that's what you have right there.
Yes, there's cookies in the world.
Wrap hamper? Like, I'm leaving this up. What is that?
Next month, how we feel about
I'm being told I'm getting into the conference room next month.
you getting one?
Pritzker's having a class. Is that what you're talking about?
No.
What were we talking about? He said next month.
Well, because you were talking about not knowing what the
Oh, yeah, I don't know what it's gonna be yet.
Oh, didn't she send it out?
I don't know because they don't know. Like operations doesn't know yet.
Oh, I thought I got something. Is it from Nicole?
Oh, if you're on those things, then that's what you're getting.
November, quantifying your admin team for success.
That's next month's topic.
I don't even know what that means.
We're gonna find out. It's the fancy way of saying this, which they stopped saying. How to maximize your admin. Like, oh, you mean how to run us all to the dirt?
but that's not what the word
Yeah.
qualified.
It's just what it sounds. It just sounds like that. How can we get our admin to do more things?
Because we need to do more.
It's a cryptic way of saying it. I'm telling you, JP.
Maybe they should get their admin to better class names.
What was the class called again?
Oh dear God.
It's quantifying
Quantifying your admin team for success.
So basically, when you attend these info sessions, if you do, they're going to talk about things that you are literally not going to be able to do. They're not going to give you any next steps, and it's just going to be so horrible to hear. So like something like quantifying, what was it again? I don't know. Quantifying your
admin team for success.
Who even has an admin team in this room? Don't raise your hand. Exactly. If we can't, and I was actually talking about this on an ALC meeting the other day. One of my topics to talk about was a real estate retreat. Who has the money for that? That's not sensible. I'm gonna have you read this again. Quantifying your
Admin team for success.
team for success.
Yeah, I don't know those teams that are like, well, yeah, we do a yearly, when we plan our year, we go on a retreat, like somewhere fancy, and it's like,
something on that meeting was like, yeah, me and my rainmaker, we sit down and we have lunch for hours and it's just a really positive experience. And then I found out within the next 2 minutes that her rainmaker is her wife. So it was like, that is very different than your rainmaker being like a stranger and having to work for someone. Like, so yeah, oh, so much fun. So that's
That's all here, those of us who have VAs, can you just go around the room and tell me what company your VA is with?
employee leasing agency.
Say that one more time.
Employee leasing agency. It's newer, but
Alright,
he is out. Well, it's good. We took a risk. It paid off.
okay.
So.
Cyberbacker,
Firecracker and.
Or
should you be training my people, maybe?
No, but I can get you in with the best trio and also,
Okay.
give you insights to like you can customize your trio and do rapid fire interviews. I take an hour per client.
Okay,
They'll discuss, yeah.
I'll pay you.
Lauren used my help desk and really had good success.
Who do more use?
My help desk.
That's been so good, I know she knows.
She was gonna try to get, pick my brain about Cyberbacker too.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
We've used Cyberbacker before, but I think it's the same thing with you. Like, you have to hire. You still have to go through and to get to the right person.
Any VA company, like people are people, so you just have to find good people that are the right fit.
Yeah.
We just like Cyberbacker because they have a whole lot of training. They free train and then I train.
A lot of
And they have a
people
lot of
think,
resources, so it's helpful.
just fresh reminder, VAs are still people. So like they do jobs differently. You know, it's literally just like me being here, except they're over there.
You still have to train them on your team.
Like we had a VA as an ISA from Cyberbacker and then got a different VA from employee leasing agency because it was just different. Their skill sets were different.
Yeah.
They were just different. And the new person could do things or would do things that the old person didn't do, you know, and you can try to work with them and you can try to put them on a growth plan and get them there, but sometimes you can't get anybody anywhere.
Yeah.
So then you just move on. Why are you looking for a VA? Just to get your
I have
life together?
Yeah.
So-
Just how many go, yeah, yeah.
For what? What are you thinking about using? If you don't mind me asking?
Honestly, just like,
And congratulations, you're so busy that you need one.
thank you, really just like the database stuff, but that's not even like the tip of the iceberg. Christina and I we just signed on a 500 unit visa. And the thought of processing
Any of those.
all of those in goddamn command.
Yeah.
Like, we almost didn't submit the proposal because of that, and I was like, that's ridiculous, like, we need to do it. So we really just need one for like data entry input. And just like learning command and how to like process everything properly. Cause, you know.
Yeah. And I think that there's still a hefty database of command videos. So like you could teach them once and then be like, here's the whole database. Don't ask me how to start an opportunity again
Yeah.
in this video.
Exactly.
Because that's kind of how my training works a little bit, where I'm like, I show you once. I don't know if anybody is a Grey's Anatomy fan, but like I'll show you once, then do it, then you teach me sort of thing.
You do.
Thank you.
Yeah.
See when do one, teach one.
So we need somebody for like those mundane tasks, and then would like to like, you know, get them more involved in like database, get my smart plan
While
set
you
up,
do,
all that, kind of.
Yeah, while you do
Super.
like your day-to-day work, keep a sheet of paper or like an open note in your phone next to you, and then write down all the things
We
that
really
like,
have like a shared note of like all the tasks.
perfect.
We don't wanna do that, the VA is gonna do.
Yeah,
There's also a fantastic program called Scribe
Okay.
Oh, and Tango.
that you can use to create like SOPs and instructional lists. And I've used it to create some.
Oh, okay, I'm in charge of that.
I've used it to create a handful of command guides where you say like, hey, I'm gonna start doing the thing, and then you do the thing on your computer, and you're done, you hit I'm done doing the thing, and it pulls together like screen grabs and, you know, gives
Wow.
you suggested text to go with those screen grabs, and then you go in and you edit everything. You say like, you know, oh, I want to change this verbiage here, or I want to zoom in or out on this, you know, or I want to combine these steps together. But it really is super helpful for things that you do all the time,
Yep,
making it easy to show someone else how to do it.
okay.
Is it free?
It is free to a certain extent. I think with the free plan, you can make up to 5 scribes.
Tango is free. Tango is like Prime. You have some of their like marketing, whatever, it'll be like, this was made with Tango, but like, I used it for half of the things for my DAs and it was wonderful, because I'm like, go look at this. This review's 3 by 3, click by click, what to do, where to do it.
Well, I've been my own scribe recently. I've built out my entire SOP for the listing and rental manager position. So like literally listing a property, every single thing in MLS.
You did it with Tango?
I did it by myself.
Oh,
I zoomed myself doing it. Yep. Publishing a whole listing, adding, showing instructions, updating like my back end for my whole team, like ordering sign the whole yard.
That's smart.
Watched the video and then I wrote it all down.
You record screen share almost?
I did. I Zoom recorded, and it was just me by myself.
Yeah.
And then
And so like I should do that the next time I'm like inputting a listing or
Yeah.
a listen, I should
Zoom.
and record it,
Yeah.
so that way they can see exactly. what
And then honestly, like for me, I felt like the videos are a lot better for a future trainee because you can hear me run into things and like explain them. Like, oh, we do this specific thing with our listing because we're this sort of team or blah, 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 blah. This agent out of my 32 doesn't want me to contact any of their listings. My SOP is written out very, very well, pat on my own back, where it says like to input a listing into MLS, 1, log into here, click, add edit listing.
I'm the same way.
So like, it was easier to have the video and watch myself doing it versus trying to do it and write down what I'm doing at the same time. So just record yourself first, and then if you never get to writing down the actual steps, you have the recording.
Okay, that's helpful.
This is a getting started with command page that I built using Scribe, and each of these little sections here, you click,
Wow.
It does a screenshot.
it has like step-by-step screenshots. It shows where I clicked at the particular time. And
wow.
when you merge steps, it'll take those grabs and kind of put them together. So this whole thing took me like less than an hour to do, and it's literally
Okay.
the entire getting started with command everything. The nice thing as you grow and scale, and I don't know if Tango has something similar, we pay for Scribe for the leadership team because you can have kind of a collaborative team where, there can be multiple people that all have access to the same shared pool, that can go and collaborate on things. You can create and then another person can come in and add to it, or adjust certain things. So we like that functionality of it, but
Okay.
it is.
I haven't gotten that far. I will say when you do the VA in place, you run into something new with them, screen record with them online with you. So that you can train them in real time, that you have to go back to, and any questions they have during that training, you can answer. Because then that gives you a good thing of like, oh, I didn't even need to bring this up and they have a good question about it. So if you lose that VA, you actually have a recording that may answer some of the new VA's questions.
Okay, good.
That's what all Balance Library is, it's her with the original VA that she had.
Okay, and then you
Just
just
all of the things, and now all of the new VAs that we have to have access to that.
Yeah, I really recommend using a combination of video and something like this. Videos are great for, they're great for so much, but one of the things that they fall short on is when someone has like one tiny question that they're like, oh, I just forget this step. It's so much easier to go into a step-by-step guide and find it than to seek through a video for it. So having that balance of both resources is huge.
And in I have my SOP is literally just a Google Doc, because that's where I was.
Yeah.
So I used Google Docs like heading sort of text settings where I have like these things out as a heading. So like I have something that says adding showing instructions. And so there's a whole entire table of contents on the side of the Google Doc where they could just look and see, okay, I don't know how to add showing instructions. I forgot how to do that. And they click and then they get jumped because my application is like 60 pages at this point. They can just jump down to a certain thing. So like JP said, having it written out as well helps out.
And then that is your accountability for your PA, because then they can't say that they weren't doing.
Boom.
Literally built in accountability.
Because sometimes they like to say that.
Yeah.
Oh, I know the thing.
That I was thrown in.
You have that access to stay.
I'm trying to be very strategic, like I know. I know a lot of people sometimes like get VAs just because they say like, oh, I have a VA, like cool. Well, like Christine and I are really running out of
time.
We don't have hours in the day to sit in command and do all of this stuff. Like it's not money making activities, so somebody else should be doing it.
100%.
So I think my thought, I'm trying to be very strategic about it, so that way it's not like,
Are you willing to
who's
make
on first,
some?
what's on second, and it's just like, hey, while we onboard you and get you all situated, you are solely focused on our lead inquiries, getting them in the proper spreadsheet, getting them in the database, and then, as we're signing leases or whatever, like, you're handling that. And then like, as they can handle that, branch them off to like, okay, here's the database as a whole.
Somebody also told me that they started out with VAs from companies like Cyberbacker and whatnot. But these VA companies take a lot of money out of their paycheck. So like you may pay Cyberbacker $1,000, but that person only gets like $500.
There's a work around that too.
And so
500 is usually on the high side.
I was just giving an example. Yeah, it's like 100. So, they've had such good success with their VAs that their VAs are now actually working directly for their team.
Okay.
So like,
No, so we did a workaround on that. I demanded from Cyberbacker Corporate, like the people above Pam and Tara, who I'm good friends with now, to be like,
I didn't know that was the group. Oh.
Pam and Tara, like, she wants me on her podcast and like, I'm an affiliate so that I can teach with her, because I have a Cyberbacker class that I'm very excited about. And I'm like, I'm sorry. But like, I was like, I expect my Cyberbacker to get this amount in their salary, and they come. I don't care how you do it, but like make the proportions work and we'll just be extra. So that I inserted the salary for my Cyberbacker.
Okay.
We thought about getting them separate, but I like it because he has an entire Slack channel of other Cyberbackers. So I know in command that when MLS is out before I'm even logged in, because they'll communicate with each other. Like, we don't have a local command, and I'm like, oh, I guess I'm using that right now. It'll just know, or hey, I'm ready into this. Anybody else see all this before? And then they can like problem solve with each other.
Okay, that's good to know.
So the whole network.
JP knows how I feel about people getting
Yeah.
Um,
We care very much because we don't want them underpaid.
Yeah, I would love it either.
Yeah.
well,
Martin, you can awfully quiet. What company is your VA with?
Cyberbacker.
Thank you.
That, and I recommend with Dave that, what works for me is, you have, like, I took one of those classes where you have to like really become friends with them, find out about their family, what they really want. Like my sister
Yeah,
just asked me, hey, are we working on Friday? I'm like, if you have that, it's never ever. I'm like, I don't celebrate Day of Dad, but I like a session at hand. And I was like, you got a day off. And he's like, oh, great, because we just visited the cemetery. And I had no idea. And their culture that meant a lot. I'm like, take a whole day off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I'm gonna be sending people like my hand exams.
Yeah, so that's stuff that you have to like really think, because that money aspect with Cyberbackers, there's somebody over a little bit more, and you'll lose them. You won't get time.
Okay.
Lawrence, VA,
Maybe you can hold that because.
Yeah.
Arnell, right?
Arnell was amazing. It is amazing. He's still with David closing. He is so phenomenal. And one of the things that made him so phenomenal was how much he wanted to excel because of the connections that Lauren made. I mean, like, when Lauren told him that she was leaving, the two of them cried for like 30 minutes on a Google Meet together. Like, but it's because, you know, she would take the time to learn about him as a person and his family and what was going on. And like, you know, Philippines had a wild amount of tsunamis and stuff. So like when something would go on, she'd be like, hey, take the day. Like, we are not the priority, prioritize your family. And like that goes a long way to building that relationship. You know, and it's not just with cyberbackers, obviously. Like that's just being a good leader and boss. You know, but I think that anyone who has successfully had a VA will, or, you know, a successful hire in general will agree that another crucial part, have a 30, 60, 90 with regular accountability check-ins and have that before they come on. You know, make sure that from day one, they know what their expectations are, what the timeline for those expectations are, and when they're going to be held accountable to those things, when you're going to be talking to them. You know, whether it be daily check-ins, weekly check-in, like whatever, you know, you end up going with, but it has to be regular. It can't be like, oh, we check in at 30 days, then at 60 days, then at 90 days, because that's just not, it doesn't work out really well. So making sure that they understand their expectations and the next steps and see kind of the whole growth trajectory. It goes a long way.
Okay, that's very helpful. I also used to be an admin and director of ops. I get it.
So you get it.
Yeah.
You get it. We're people. You get it. Please.
This year.
I wish sometimes.
Looking with sharks.
I feel like maybe I'm just an odd person out as an admin. Like, I don't want my rainmakers really knowing anything about me. But unless you're exactly like me, don't ask. But yeah, I feel like at least like holding space for them. Like, we have our VAs in Bangladesh, and a couple weeks ago he was like, oh, something happened, and he said it was because there were protests and a political unrest. So we were like, that's news to us, being all the way over here, and definitely something for us to keep in mind. Like, literally had no idea, you know, what's even going on over there. So, yeah, it's crazy. And I remember when we had our cyberbacker meeting in the Philippines, sometimes Wi-Fi was not on because there was a storm and all that stuff. So yeah, admins are people, even though they're in a different time zone or the same time zone. And honestly, I could talk about employee retention probably twice as long as I can talk about marketing. And I mean, you know, just being a past admin, just treating people well and being fair and not agenting them.
Oh yeah, give them raises, give them bonuses.
They love money, so it's kind of like what
We do.
we're very fortunate, and it's kind of like it's, you know, even if it's like I make sure it's like, you know what, how much am I going to lose if I don't team? Right?
Yeah.
I could literally maybe lose a deal, and I'm like, all right, how much can I give this year and make sure I have this better. And the something that is marginal for us, you know, $10 extra a month, but